Welcome back. It's been 1 year since the Biden administration's chaotic withdrawal from Afghanistan. Our next guest has been reporting on the incredible stories of rescue missions which followed. He shares the details of missions which helped to evacuate more than 17,000 Afghans and allies. Joining me now is the author of the upcoming book, Saving Aziz: How the Mission to Help One Became a Calling to Rescue Thousands from the Taliban. Also the co-founder of Save Our Allies, Chad Robichaux. Chad, welcome to National Report. Thank you so much for coming on. Without spoiling the book, of course, tell me a little bit about what inspired it and what readers might learn from your story.
Well, I did 8 deployments as part of a JSOC task force in the Special Operations Community of Afghanistan in the early 2000s. And in my job, I specifically had one interpreter that I did all the 8 deployments with. His name was Aziz, and Aziz was with me because of my job, usually just in a 2-man team, and we worked all over Afghanistan, putting our assaulters on target to capture or kill the most terrible Taliban in the country. And we developed a relationship. And over the previous 6 years of the withdrawal, Aziz, like many of our interpreters, was not given the SIV immigrant visa that they were promised. 6 years, this guy applied for a visa. This is a guy that saved my life, saved the life to multiple Americans. Had did over a decade serving with our special operations, and they were promised a 9-month contract, 9 months to get their SIVs after their service. When the withdrawal happened, I knew if he was left behind, he would be captured or killed. His family would be killed, his wife and 6 kids. And so I knew I had to go out and get him. So Save Our Allies began as putting a team together, a team of 12, to go get Aziz, his wife, and his 6 kids. And that spawned into an effort to rescue thousands. We ultimately rescued 17,000 people from Afghanistan because of going get Aziz.
Right. You clearly had a close connection to Aziz, your translator, interpreter. You're working side by side in a very uncertain environment, right? You could be putting yourself in harm's way, and he's willing to sacrifice that just to assist the U.S. government here. You say that he was not alone, though, in willing to take that risk. There were other translators, other interpreters. Tell me about those stories that you learned in your efforts to get them out of Afghanistan.
Well, many were desperate because they felt like the United States government abandoned them. And in fact, the United States government did abandon them. They served alongside of us for 20 years. Like I said, Aziz saved my life multiple times. But many of our service members, story after of their people's experience there, veterans' experiences there, like my interpreter saved me. Maybe sometimes physically saved them. Maybe sometimes they went ahead of us. Aziz would never let me go first around a corner or into a cave or around into a certain area without him going first. Even though I had more military experience than him, he wanted to save me. I've seen interpreters be in a Ford vehicle in a convoy. That vehicle hits IED. The next day, it's interpreters that's going to go in front and be in that Ford vehicle because they want to protect us. So many guys went out of their way to save Americans, and we owe a debt to them. But yet we left them there. The State Department said on July 18th that we have 74,000 SIV applicants still in Afghanistan, not to count their 4.5 average family members that are with them or have the right to come to America. And they're moving them out at the rate of 200 a week. That'll take 140 years to keep our promise to our interpreters. They're not doing what they promised. This was contractually promised to the Afghan interpreters. And it's not only an injustice, but it's disgusting. I mean, these guys put their lives on the line for us. Not only that, but how does America ever gain confidence with a foreign force in the future when we continue to leave our allies stranded and behind and don't keep our promises to them?
Right. The federal government, as you point out, was not stepping up. And so your group decided to do so. Tell me about how that ended up working out. It sounds like it would have been a challenging task.
It was impossible, and I'm a strong person of faith. So the only thing I could really say it was defined. I mean, there was no way for us to pull off what we did and our own experience and capabilities, other than God intervening in such a traumatic time. Sarah Verardo from the Independence Fund partnered with me. We brought in 12 people: Tim Kennedy, Nick Palmisano, my buddies Dan and Joe, and all these guys came together with all this experience, and we pulled together a team that was capable of doing it. But most importantly, we brought together a group of people that loved and supported the mission, and so many donors from around the world. Glenn Beck was able to bring in millions of dollars in aircraft. The United Arab Emirates chipped in their C-17 aircrafts, as well as opened their humanitarian center to us. We made it to Kabul airport. We worked with the Joint Chiefs to have permissions to be there. We started manifesting and vetting people, going outside the wire to get people in groups from orphanages, Americans, interpreters, their families, vulnerable women and children, as well as Christians that we persecuted, got them into the airport, manifested them, flew them to Abu Dhabi. During the week of the airport, we had about 10 days and we got about 12,000 people out. When the United States military left, we knew too much. We could not leave. The debate was how many Americans were there. The White House said 100. We would have said thousands. It didn't matter if it was one. We couldn't leave, and we stayed for another several months and got the 17,000 out.
Well, I can't even imagine how grateful they are for your efforts, your team's efforts. Tell me about Aziz. How's he doing? Have you been able to contact him? Is he safe? Aziz
is in Texas. He's a Texan. His wife and kids are here with him. He came to work for us at Mighty Oaks Foundation. We just have everything's a big new thing. I've taken them, their first hamburger to their first pizza to the ocean. You've seen in the video. I took him skydiving. I'm a big skydiver. I took him skydiving and jumped on a plane. And I think his reaction was, "You should have left me in Afghanistan." So we've had such great times. And he's an incredible hard worker. I've worked with him in Afghanistan, and now he's working for us at Mighty Oaks Foundation. And his goal is to help other interpreters like himself have the find hope and healing on the back end and be able to reintegrate to American society healthy. And, it's just been amazing. His family comes to church with us every weekend since he's been here. And it's just a pleasure to have him here.
Well, thank you for coming on, sharing this story. It's great to hear that he's doing well and adjusting to life in the United States as well. Of course, free from Taliban rule. Chad Robichaux coming on, previewing his book. We look forward to reading it. Chad, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.